Hello, this is the last of the series of mixed media studies. This time we're doing a raspberry. I've first outlined each individual cell of the raspberry and the highlights, although with the raspberry the highlights are much softer. It's virtually a matte surface you're looking at. You'll probably notice that I've not bothered masking the highlights out for this one, whereas I have with the others, because with a soft highlight and with a matte surface, you never really get a true white. This is the same really for most highlights. It's just that particularly with something as matte and as soft looking as the skin of the raspberry, you'll find that you will always have like an underlying pinkish colour. I'm building up the layers gradually using a medium red first, and then a white, and then a darker red, and then basically trying to find my way through a method and a range of colours, like a colour palette, to create the each individual cell. You'll see with raspberries that there's not one single colour of red. This is where a lot of people go wrong. You'll get some sort of deep purples and almost brown colours, as well as pinks and reds, and of course the white highlight. But when you're applying the white pencil on top of this, you'll see that you'll also almost pick up the colour of the watercolour underwash as you go along, because it never regains a true white. I've used the Faber-Castell white for this one, whereas I've used softer white pencils for the previous ones. This is because the Faber-Castell won't put down as much colour, and if you think about it, you don't want a lot of white going down, so in this case it's beneficial to have a softer white that doesn't leave as much pigment on the page. As you can see, I'm going around each individual berry or cell on the raspberry, sort of in sequence really, but what I do, I use a few cells first and get them to virtually a finished stage, and then I'm sort of sure of the technique and the colour palette. I keep on building these up. There's no point showing you them all because it's quite a tedious process. If you're watching it, it's okay if you're doing it. You can get in quite a rhythm with it, and it's quite a nice way of relaxing really. Now I've sort of established the way of shading each cell or berry. I'm getting more confident, so I'm putting more colour down on different cells, and I'm building multiples up at once. I find this, even though I've done hundreds, possibly thousands of coloured pencil drawings in the last few years, I still have to find my way getting the palette right and the blends of colour and the time to burnish. You see, particularly inside the raspberry, the colours don't really vary that much. It's more of a flatter sort of colour range. You haven't really got a wide range of tones in there and different colours. It tends to sort of flatten out somehow. So I'm keeping on building up these colours with pinky reds, orangey reds, deep, more purpley reds. And keep on having to pause back and looking again to make sure that everything's still within the range that I want it to be. You can see this is quite, I think this is actually called dark red. Yes, you can see it on the pencil there. This is a colour that I use quite a bit because it's not too bright, but it still retains the reddish hue that you need. So I'm building this up more now. I'm doing like adjustments, and what I tend to do when it gets to the latter stage of the drawing, I'll use the pencil, each coloured pencil, for multiple berries to try and get like a unified look, because at the end of the day, you know, each berry will have common characteristics. They're not like a blackberry, for instance. If you've seen that in the earlier drawing, they've got quite a sort of singular colour to them, but you need to use more colours to keep them realistic. You'll see now I'm adding a little feathery like almost mini branches that come out of the berry. They give it quite a sort of fibrous feel and look. But what I'm doing, I'm using a really sharp pencil in different colours to show where the shadows are and where the highlights are, and the tiny little details on the end. You'll see I'm also going in with the scalpel here. This is where I've built up the colour. I scratch back to the paper and then I go over with a golden coloured pencil first, and then I can build on that with the yellow to give it like a little bit more highlight and depth, almost burnishing each piece, and then the sepia goes in to add darks to the areas that are in shade. Just going over again with the reds to give it like little shadows sometimes underneath those like fibrous pieces, and the pink I use overall to give it that unified look. Right, we're coming near to the end of the drawing now, and this is the end of this series, but I'll be filming another series soon. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give me a like, it really does help the channel, and please subscribe for new ones. Thank you, bye.